For example, to have social development, socio-constructivism taking place again. So when you get to learn to use those terms, it's very easy to assess a child what learning is taking place while they're playing. So it's a matter of learning to use descriptors, isn't it?
We have to use learning descriptors.
I have those learning descriptors, but for some reason it's not here. It's in my laptop. It might even be on my
So you think it's a good idea that teachers should be aware of those descriptors when she's assessing them, assessing the children playing? It would be easier, like tools.
Certain criteria on the basis of some levels of understanding what the teacher needs to have, and then move on. It's not like you're just making them have an activity, and it's a plan which has certain outcomes which are expected outcomes.
We're talking about play, aren't we?
Yeah.
And you have expectations of that in your curriculum.
And it's kind of a structured play with the resources that the teacher has provided them with?
Yeah.
Structured play. Okay. That's one aspect of play.
Okay.
Now, do you have the ability to have free play?
See, free play is always there. Because imaginative role play tells you what the child is exactly doing, what is he thinking. Because like some children, they like to play with in the shop counter. They like to do the shopping and all that. Some children, they go and take the puppets, they go to the theater area. So if they have the resources only, then they'll apply those
resources are actually the tools. So it means that actually these
play, you have a list of the outcomes you want.
Yeah, and
that's all
informal plays are going to actually tell how a child's developed his personality, what he wants to be, how he thinks. So his feelings. No, it means that it means that it gives an insight to the teacher, to the intellectual and the emotional learning of a child.
Yeah, well, if it's structured play, then it's adult initiated, isn't it? Something you are asking the children to do.
It's like pre-planned.
It's not play, it's work. There's a difference between play and work.
Yeah, but at BSS we do provide resources in the corners that have a link with the current theme going on in our classes. So that we have to structure their play. Even if it's a free play, the resources are there, and whether it's free play, but it's structured from our side. Our current theme is about the family, so we provide them with dupattas, with the stuff that they use in their homes. They see the people wearing, using. So we make it make it a point that we have these resources that have something to do with a family in our home area.
See, my whole point of play is that it's free play. And then the problem with free play, you have to manage free play. And so there's ways of doing that are quite easy. And then I thought this whole thing would be based on that.
So you give us some ideas that how can we have free play?
Could it be like this,
context?
Well, for example, if you have a painting corner,
okay,
you have 4 aprons, so only 4 children can go there.
Okay.
And so there are ways of managing play. And then there's other ways, for example, like certain plays that might need more adult supervision. So you can put a red light for that. If there's a play that doesn't require adult supervision, a green light. And if there's one that, well, maybe that's...
These are some strategies to manage their play. But some examples of having free play. How can we be as early as teachers, we can make sure that this is free play going on in our classrooms. We are not structuring their play. some ideas for that?
Well, I personally, because I know I came into a classroom and I had 1,200 pounds worth of resources at my disposal. Because I got a grant to work with these children. And if I said, would you like to play with finger puppets? Would you like to play drums? Whatever I said, you know. So they're excited to do anything, I found. So for me, it was a matter of, well, I better limit, you know. I said, you have to go pick a puppet. Well, there was a stampede, and I had to learn, you know, just by survival, how to avoid all of this, you know. And I found finger puppets were brilliant, because the way I work with finger puppets with children is that they put them on their fingers, lie on their bellies, and hold up their elbows. They can't go anywhere in that position. They're solid put, and then they start talking to each other. Nobody's running around. So you need to have more ideas about how to do that. And I think it's like somehow limiting the resources so some children can play with the blocks. And I think blocks, for me, is a lot of learning going on. And it could be very attractive even for girls to go play blocks. I used to come into the nursery, and I used to come into TNS at 8 o'clock in the morning and build a tower of blocks beforehand, because the environment is the teacher to me. So children come in and the environment is set up, then you're prepared. And what happened was, for example, somebody's going to want to knock it down. But once they knock it down, now they've taken ownership, and they'll start to construct. A couple of girls started to make a little farm of it, and they went and resourced it. They got little plastic animals, and they started conversations, and the teacher started drawing the children to document the learning.
So it's like, you know, in a free play, teachers are actually take up the role of just the managers, you know. They're not...
But you have to be an observer of what is being learned. But you have to observe what is being learned. It's a different approach, because quite often you're handed a list of this is what has to be accomplished.
Keeping in mind those outcomes, and then we let the children come in and take the ownership of that and give them free hand. They might come around, we will be taking the risk, but they will come around and achieve those outcomes. For example, we have to teach them about animals, zoo animals. We create an environment for them with zoo animals. And our aim is to do so that they learn zoo animal names and what their characteristics are. They will research, they will experiment what they are, how structure they use.
Yeah, I should move around, and I'll come back. And I'm holding my card. So in the future, I have a website that supports all of this.
That's great. Magical world. Once a child is coming to that world, he leaves all the worries and things out. So it is like what? Because you know, his concept of TNS and what they have over there is different. हमारे पास तो we have a list that, you know, we know that the children have to do it.